Hello and welcome to the forecast for July 28th until August 3rd. My name is Desiree de Lunae, your acupuncturist, herbalist, and astrologer. And we're going to go over the energies of this electrifying week. We've got Venus moving into a whole new sign. We've got Mercury combust and then Cazimi. And there's so many incredible grand trines and a major opposition. So it's jam-packed. You're not going to be bored this week. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's get you prepped and ready for what is to come. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you're notified every time a new video is available for you. All right, well, we are going to begin with Monday. We are fully into the Leo season. As we see, Sun is in Leo. This is actually the home placement for Leo. So the Sun is very happy here. And so Sun is fully expressed. It likes to be seen. It likes to be heard. It likes to really be at center stage. It is vibrant. It is playful, adventurous, extroverted. I mean, it is here to have some fun. So definitely the theme of fun and play and just having a good time. This is like a good times sign. And also very active and sporty. I mean, if you think about the Sun, there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of vitality there. So probably feeling physically a bit stronger as well. We are in the middle of summer. Now, we do have this little situation when it comes to Mercury. So one, we have Mercury in retrograde, okay? And not only that, we have Mercury that is now in combustion. So when a planet is pretty close to the sun, there are varying standards of degrees here. I like to do around an 8-degree orb for this. So if you see here on Monday, we have Mercury that is about 6 degrees away from the sun. So it's within that. And it is definitely combust by any astrologer's standards. So it is combust. And basically, the sun's rays are so strong that it actually burns the planet near it. And so then the functioning of that planet near the sun is a bit more weakened. So it doesn't have its full power and its full strength. So Mercury is quite compromised right now. Not only is it in retrograde, it is also combust. And Mercury is our schedules. It's our travel plans, especially like short distance travel. It's just communication in general, emails, text messages, misunderstandings, miscommunication. Oh, you put the wrong date down when you meant to put the other day, or you put the wrong time down, missing appointments, etc. Things like that. So expect those kinds of challenges and obstacles when it comes to technology and scheduling, etc., and travel. So overall, like maybe harder time finding words for things. Mercury is just going to be challenged here while it's combust. Now, we do have a special day later on in this week, so stay tuned till Friday, where we have Mercury Cazimi, and that is pretty cool. So not only is Mercury in this combustion phase, the sun is also opposite Pluto. And that this we're gonna feel for a bit, definitely this whole week, we're gonna feel this sun opposite Pluto. And there's a bit of tension there because oppositions are more challenging. And so maybe even like feeling a bit challenged in terms of what you really desire and what you really want to express verbally. And Pluto can also help us reclaim our power too. So when we have an opposition like this, it's a combination of both. We're going to deal with the hardships of Pluto, which is, really like digging down deep and facing difficult things that we have possibly been ignoring, and they're not really fun, but they're important to address. It's a planet that makes the big things small and the small things big. So there could be some frustration and irritation. I mean, just with this Mercury combustion and this Pluto opposition as well. But here's another, beautiful thing is that it could be fully like now we're going inwards. We're really going inwards and connecting into our power and reclaiming our power and stepping into our power. And that's another thing that Pluto can bring about. But that's a deep transformative process. This isn't like, unicorns and rainbows. It's not necessarily a pretty process. But or another way is like, okay, what parts of my identity or my purpose, which those are things that the sun represents, do I need to die? Do I need to purge? Because that is the thing planet deals with is death, decomposition, elimination of waste. It is connected to detoxification and elimination. So, what part of my purpose no longer is relevant today or no longer resonating with me today that I need to just fully let go of? So, as you can see, there could be many different expressions of this. Picture this. Instead of feeling drained, doubting yourself, and putting everyone else first, instead, you are confidently expressing yourself, your boundaries, living on fire with your soul's mission, and experiencing this deep well of inner peace. This transformation, it's possible. I live it myself every day, and that's why I created Rise and Thrive. This is a transformative membership that combines the wisdom of Chinese medicine, essential oils, and other healing practices that shift you from surviving to thriving. So click down in the link below to join the Rise and Thrive membership so that you too can live a life in harmony, in peace, and in deep, authentic alignment with your true essence. And let me know which one comes up for you, because this is something that is going to be around at least for the next week, maybe a little bit into the following week as well. Okay, other things that the sun is going through, we'll have this all week as well. A lot of the stuff I talk about Monday, it's going to be impacting the whole week. We've got a trine between Sun and Saturn and Neptune, because these are next to each other. And so Sun and Saturn, that is quite positive. And of course, we have the Saturn in sextile with Pluto. So with this connection here, like these kinds of changes and this kind of like raw honesty that we're stepping into, Saturn brings so much maturity and wisdom and growth and structure. And so we're finding this foundation, and we're finding this way of being that is now like really taking shape and taking hold. And that's the thing is with Saturn, it brings form to it. It's a very practical planet and it deals with material reality. So there is again this essence of groundedness and maturing and centering that Saturn is bringing here. And with Neptune too, these are kind of opposing in many ways, but Neptune in trine with Sun does keep us in touch and connection with our visions and our dreams and our hopes. So it's easily accessible. When we have trines like these, the energies of the other planets, they're working in a more harmonious way. And again, there's more like ease of communication and accessibility between the planets. All right. So the other thing I wanted to point out for this day, for Monday, is this Moon, Mars, and even South Node that is part of this here. So Moon represents our feelings and our emotions, right? And it is right next to Mars. It's going to be touching Mars in a matter of hours, probably in the afternoon. And so here, Moon and Mars together is going to do a few things. One, it's going to drive up activity, energy, passion, drive, ambition in general. Okay, and you can actually get physically more energy. I think this could be quite an energizing time period right now, seeing where the sun is, what the sun's doing, as well as what Moon is doing. It can bring more frustration and irritability, but you will be driven to act. You will have a desire to act, and the type of action that we want is It's precise, it's calculated, it's measured, and there's a lot of cutting away. Because if you think about Mars, Mars rules weapons, right? It rules knives and sharp objects, and so it's cutting, it's severing, it's separating. And not only that, we have the South Node very close to all of this. I mean, within the South Node and Mars are only 5 degrees away from each other. So wherever South Node is, you start to see a lessening. And so here's another indicator besides Pluto. I talked about Pluto as purgative and eliminating of waste, right? And what's no longer useful or relevant. We get the same thing with Virgo. Virgo does not like fluff. Virgo is the minimalist. It's about simplicity and practicality. If it doesn't serve a purpose or a function, we don't need it. We don't want it. Okay, that's just a Virgo thing. And so here between the Mars and South Node, all in Virgo, and Moon is here, like what you're going to feel like doing are things that are eliminatory, that are cleansing, that are just throwing in the trash what you don't need. And this could be physical things, but it could also be like emotional attachments. It could be relationships. I mean, you have this square that is with Venus, and Venus represents relationships. So this could be like a letting go of relationships that are not healthy, because that's the thing with Virgo. Virgo retains what's healthy and nutritious. And if it isn't, it's going to be very motivated to get rid of it. So a lot of cleansing. There is a lot of cleansing in the air, a lot of cleansing and purifying and just getting down to the essence of what matters and getting down to the essence of truth. Those are going to be some major themes for the week. Okay. So let's go on to Tuesday on the 29th. We have a change with the moon. It's still pretty close to Mars earlier in the days, earlier in the morning especially. So you still get some of that yang energy from Mars. But it is now in an air sign, which is a bit more active even, but it's in Libra. And with it being in Libra, it is driven to now like connect, to be around people, to be around new ideas and just having really good conversations. It is very open-minded here and willing to hear other perspectives or other ideas or ways of looking at something. Now, if you notice, there is a pretty big triangle. Actually, there's even a kite pattern here, but there's a big triangle in the center. And that triangle is between the moon and Uranus and Pluto. So the moon right now is having conversations with our newly Uranus in Gemini, right? Remember when he just transitioned over here on the 7th of July, and it's going to be here for the next 7 years. That's a big deal. And Pluto, it's been in Capricorn the last 20 years. So it's still, I consider, newly in Aquarius, even though it fully crossed over last year, at the end of last year. So you've got all these in air signs. All of these are in air signs. And now with everything Uranus has been going through, now the moon is like connected, has a direct line of access and communication. So here it's almost like we're tapping into our Uranus even more. And so, taking a look at where Uranus is in your chart, I know many of you shared with us here, but what house is Uranus in Gemini over? Like in this situation, it's over the 10th house. And so in this situation, if someone had a chart like this, they would have a lot of electrifying changes in their career and their public persona. And so the moon is basically connecting into your Uranus, and you are going to have an easier time hearing and seeing and feeling all that Uranus is trying to do in your life. So have a moment of reflection here on Tuesday when you have this mini grand trine, because remember, Uranus is going to be the rebel and the revolutionary in our lives, and it's going to be shaking up that area of our life so much. And it would be nice to just be like, hey, Uranus, what are your plans? What are we doing the next 7 years? Clue me in, and have a conversation with Uranus. I mean, it's like you literally have him on the phone. You have him on the phone, or he's right in front of you, and you have an opportunity to just be face to face with Uranus and say, hey, what's the deal? What's up? What are we doing? And then Pluto is, of course, just really adding to this, and Pluto brings depth. So you're not just going to get like a superficial, understanding of what Uranus is doing. Like you're going to start to understand the deeper plans of what Uranus has in store for you. So I think that's a pretty cool grand trine that we get to experience. All right. Now, let's continue on to Wednesday. So, Wednesday, July 30th, Moon is still in Libra. We do have, let me see. Oh, you know what? I'm going to start talking about this trine. Now, we have a trine right now. It's faint. It's between Mars and Uranus, but Mars is going to continue moving through Virgo. And then when it gets to Libra, in a matter of, I don't know, maybe about a week or so, that trine is just going to get stronger with each passing day. So we're going to have this trine this whole week, and it's just going to get, like I said, stronger each day. But I think it's worth now mentioning is that here we have the planet of action, Mars, okay? And then we have the planet of change and liberation and breakthrough and enlightenment, right? And revolution. Okay, these are two pretty feisty planets. And so you put them together. Now they're in a good conversation. They're in a trine. So, they're like allies. They're working together and they're harmonious in this sense. And especially when Mars goes into Libra, we're going to have an exact trine, and they're both going to be in air sign, so it's even going to get better. But this conversation has started, and this is direct action. And it being in Virgo right now, it's that, very practical, very like well thought out and well planned actions. It's been calculated, it's been measured. We've figured out what the pros and cons are, and some like evaluations of if we make this decision, this will probably happen. All those things, right? Very calculated. And so Mars and Uranus is ready to go. Like they're ready to rumble. They are ready to take some bold actual moves, like literally take the step, not just thinking about it, not just talking about it anymore. Like it's go time. It's time to enact some plans now. And so they're working together, and it's like, these are radical actions. These are not like small little things that we build up. Like these are big changes. These are big changes where there's no turning back. Changes towards our own evolution and progress. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty fun. And just know that that's only going to get stronger as the days pass. Now, Thursday, another big change. Can you tell? Like it's a very eventful week. It just keeps going. So Thursday, we have a pretty big change with Venus. Venus is moving into Cancer. So you'll see, look here on Wednesday, Venus is at 29 degrees of Gemini. On Thursday, it is going into Cancer. Venus does very well in Cancer. This is a very nice position. Our interests and our desires are going to be more on the home front. Whereas when Venus was in Gemini, okay, for a while, it is a bit more outgoing. It's more social. It's more just like curious, trying new things. It's a bit more playful. It's quite a playful placement. And here it's like, I really want to have a real connection with you and a serious conversation with you. I want to take care of you. I want to nurture you. I want to be present. I want to be here with you. And there are going to be people that you really love and that are like family to you, because Cancer has to do with the family, the home. So you may see some of your focus and attention shifting just a little bit more versus Venus being in Gemini. I've definitely been way more social this past month, and because I'm a hermit, so I'm very proud of myself. But then here it's like, oh, now we're switching gears and now we're going to be focusing, on the home front. But it's really cool because it's a rich placement. There's a natural affinity between Venus and Cancer, the motherliness, the nurturing, the compassion, the generosity. And like these two are going to start getting closer as well, this Venus and Jupiter. Venus moves way faster than Jupiter, so it's going to get closer and closer. And you're just going to see just that, feeling like, how can I support the people in my life? Like you really are giving from a full cup and you just want to nurture and take care of and protect and support. There's going to be a lot more of the spirit of support. How do we take care of one another? So, and just feeling more generous rather than, like scarcity and like being a little bit more greedy. Like, no, there's just this sense of wanting to give. So that will get stronger with each day as well. Not only are your actions going to get more intense, but also your compassionate and giving nature is going to increase as well. The other thing, let me see, Moon trine Venus. How lovely is that? So just as as Venus comes into Cancer, we have a trine developing and Moon rules Cancer. So this makes Venus feel very, very supported by the Moon because Moon is having a direct conversation. It's kind of like Venus is renting and the Moon is the landlord, and a very lovely, kind landlord that is making sure that Venus is taken care of in their stay. So very nice. And this again just brings more of that like desire to connect and be close and just have that heart to heart connection and develop these beautiful bonds. So very sweet. It's a very sweet connection and it's only going to get better with time with this Venus getting closer to Jupiter. Okay. And Moon being in Libra, it loves being around people. So this is a peopling kind of time, people that we're close with. All right. And let's see, we talked about the Mars. That's good. Let's continue on to Friday. Friday, fun day, okay? Mercury is Cazimi. Ooh, I love it because we have been dealing with Mercury combustion. We're going to continue to deal with Mercury combustion, but not on Friday because Friday's Cazimi day, and I love Mercury Cazimi. It is one of my favorite placements, okay? So let me tell you what it's about. Now, when, like I said, a planet is near the sun, it gets burned up by the sun. It gets weakened as a result. It's just the sun is overpowering. It's too strong. And so it's like the planet is blinded by the sun. I mean, even when you look at the sun, it's very strong. But when it is very, very close to the sun, it is called Cazimi, which means it is in the seat of the sun or the throne of the sun or the heart. It actually means the heart of the sun. So it's like the throne of the sun. So this is like the most prized location, okay, for a planet. It's when this planet is getting royal treatment. I mean, it's sitting on the throne. I literally put Mercury on the throne. So it's sitting on the throne. So it is at its sharpest peak function. So like the mental clarity, the mental sharpness, the agility, the communication, like really nailing down the words. I have written incredible pieces during a Mercury Cazimi. That has been my personal experience. So anything to deal with communication, like speaking, writing, having a conversation, any kind of translating, I don't know, just anything dealing with words, whether written, spoken, singing, like just take advantage of Mercury Cazimi moment, okay? Even journaling is amazing during Mercury Cazimi. Some people say when it's a degree away from the sun, that's Mercury Cazimi. Some people say less than a degree. It has to be within 17-minute arc. Take a note. Feel it out. Feel it out. But yeah, definitely it is happening during Friday. So enjoy Mercury Cazimi. So we get a little bit of relief from any issues that Mercury had. If Mercury's been giving you issues recently, we get a day of relief, and not just relief, like it's like exaltation. So it's a very ideal placement. You'll also notice this trine with Mars and Uranus getting a bit stronger as well. All right. And then here, the one thing that has changed though is Moon. Okay. And Moon is in Scorpio. So it's in its fall position. It's not in its best location. So there could be emotions that run quite high. So you're going to feel a lot of intensity. I mean, it could be in either way. It could be intense joy is possible. I mean, Moon does have a nice trine to Jupiter here. Do you see that? So Jupiter does bring hope and optimism and positivity and just feeling of abundance and prosperity. So let's hope for that. And then it does have a square here to Sun and Mercury, but because Mercury is Cazimi, I'm not too concerned about this square. So let's just hope that your feelings here, not only are you mentally super present and sharp, but also emotionally, you're feeling intense joy. But sometimes Moon in Scorpio tends to also feel intense anxiety and fear and paranoia and all of those things too. But again, I'm just going to hope for the best here. Clue me in, let me know which way it swings for you. Okay, so on Saturday, we have a conjunction that is getting closer. So this is about 10 degrees away now. And that means this whole like our relationships are good. There's a lot of goodness that this, to me, if you have been, in the process of maybe letting go or your relationships are changing, have been changing, with this Venus getting closer to Jupiter, we're going to start seeing higher quality relationships rather than just quantity, but like higher quality connection, higher quality people that bring us prosperity. And I'm not just talking about money, okay? Meaning just like, bringing us more wisdom and just rich experiences. Like that's what I mean by prosperity. Like this is just a higher quality type of people that adds to our life in a way that we haven't experienced before. So there's like fertility there. There's like with something substantial, something that is real, not fake pretending frenemies. Like no, let's not do that because this Mars is quite proactive in cutting out anything that is not that, and the Moon is just not going to want to deal with that either. Moon does have a nice sextile here with Mars, so that's good because Mars rules Scorpio, so it's supporting the Moon here in its intensity. So that's a nice conversation. The one thing that is developing, okay, and it's going to continue to get stronger into the days is this Mars opposite Saturn. That's a rough one. Now, if you think about Mars is that like planet of action, right? And I love how it's talking to Uranus. I mean, we've already gone over that. But it also is talking to Saturn in a more confrontational way. They're fighting a bit. And so Mars here, planet of action, planet of just let's do it, let's go. And then we have Saturn that is like pumping the brakes. It's almost like Mars is pushing on the gas and then Saturn is pushing on the brakes at the same time. So then you end up like going nowhere, right? But Saturn will cause delays and will tell Mars, like, you need to be patient and we're not just going to jump the gun. So then internally, it's like this frustration because, like, I want to go, but then I'm coming up against something that's not letting me go. So It's going to get stronger, like I said, definitely next week, maybe even into the week after. So if you feel that push pull internally, it's because of this Mars Saturn opposition. Now, it will force Mars. It's already, I feel like, very, very practical and serious and well thought out being in Virgo, but Saturn's just gonna, hey, you need to do your checks again. Do your checks again. It's this is very like authoritative and commanding, and just like you need to make sure you really do cross your T's and dot your I's, which is not such a bad thing when we've been dealing with Mercury retrograde and still it's not Cazimi anymore. It's not Friday anymore. So it's back into its combustion state by Saturday. So that might not be such a horrible thing that Saturn is just, you need to take your time. Like you really need to take your time and you need to be even more thorough. We want to make sure you don't make any mistakes because we're doing a lot of foundation work. That's what a lot of this year and also into next year is for that whole like next 7-year cycle. So we want to build a strong foundation and not one that will crumble eventually. Okay, now, oops, wrong one. Sunday. Sunday, we do have a shift in the moon. It goes into Sagittarius. So, this is a fiery sign that wants freedom, okay? Freedom, it wants adventure, it wants to experience new, it wants to learn, it's also super curious, and it's in opposition to Uranus. There's a red line between Moon and Uranus up here. This can cause some restlessness. This can cause also breakthrough. This is a crap ton of energy just funneling right into Moon. And remember, Uranus is very electrifying. I mean, liberating. So talk about freedom and liberation. That is a breakthrough. Like that's the quality of today. You'll also see Mars and Saturn getting a bit stronger as well. That opposition is getting a little bit tighter. But we do have Moon that will be trining both Mercury as well as the Sun. So that's good, at least like in terms of where you're feeling and where you're thinking, and your purpose and all of that. Like it's feeling connected, it's feeling aligned. And you also have a sextile to Pluto on this day that happens. So that's nice too. I mean, we're getting into some real juicy things into our lives. So, I mean, look at all these lines just in general. There's so many conversations happening. Clearly, we're not going to go through all of them. But Moon is also in trine here with Saturn and Neptune. So, again, maturity, wisdom, responsibility, that's still present, even though there is this liberation and breakthrough and maybe disruptive in a way. But, it's disruptive as well as being good for us. It's a good kind of disruption. It's a disruption that's only going to improve the quality of our life and the foundation of our life. We're connected to our dreams and our visions and our spirituality and our creativity. Honestly, I think there's so much supercharged energy this whole week. Like this would be a time to really play with your creative energies. There's so much stimulation, there's so much activation, there's so much liberation. I mean, you've got a lot to play with here. So whatever your creative talent is, please dip into it. Like make some time for it, especially during Mercury Cazimi on Friday. So this is a very activating week. I expect many events to occur for all of us, whether it's internal or we're seeing it externally. But I do notice with Mars and all the aspects to Mars, there's a lot of actions that are taking place. There's a lot of things that are being done. And it's moving things forward. Like we are now moving forward and taking those steps. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you learned something for this. And I can't wait to see you next week as we are going full force into this new era of our lives. And hopefully, if you if you're not part of Rise and Thrive, I just taught, by the time this comes out, I just taught an entire workshop called Rewired. And the intention of Rewired is to calibrate our body and our spirit, our energy body, into all of these new world frequencies that are just present right now, so that we're learning how to interact with them and cooperate with them and receive them, just to improve our whole life situation moving forward as humanity is being called into a whole different era. So if you are not part of Rise and Thrive, I do highly recommend joining that, because we do have all the workshops there. You can watch the replay. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next forecast. Do you find yourself giving more than receiving, doubting your worth, and maybe even hiding your powerful gifts from the world? These are signs of someone being disconnected with their soul's highest expression. I'm Desiree de Lunae, an acupuncturist, herbalist, and astrologer. And through my own healing journey of self-discovery, I have learned how to shift these lower frequency states into empowered living. I use Chinese medicine, essential oils, astrology, as well as work that brings together ancient wisdom and modern healing practices. So I want to introduce to you Rise and Thrive. This is a unique membership program where you'll be receiving quarterly workshops, guided meditations, and essential oil blend recipes that are specifically designed for empathic, hypersensitive women like you. Unlike other one-off workshops or some generic self-help program, understand that Rise and Thrive offers ongoing support, practical tools that help you to create lasting and progressive transformation. So at just $61 per quarter, it is the most affordable way to work with me consistently. So click on the link down below, join the Rise and Thrive membership, the community, and begin your journey into living your authentic, empowered life.